in now to your two dad show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way.
There is no squid monster.
Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today.
These boys are like sons to me.
Men, I'm speaking to the men. Keep your DMs closed. That shit will kill you or get you killed. Keep your DMs closed, boys. All right, we got stuff to talk about today. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm JJ. That's Deacon. Based on our statistics and analytics, I have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get your attention. So right now, I'm going to tell you that today's episode might save your life. Now you got to hang in there. And at the end of the show, you get a joke. So what's better than that? Saving your life and a couple of giggles at the end? Yeah, it should have been a phone call, but it's not. It's not. It is Deacon and I having open conversation about it to you, and you're participating, and we're hiding nothing except the stuff we hide after the show. It's amazing. Okay. Anyway. So I'm JJ, that's Deacon. We meet here Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning at rumble.com/JJW to talk about the news and stuff that's important. I promise. I very well may save your life. Okay.
All right, JJ, I'm doing good this morning. I'm an old man, so I'm hurting. So tell me how you're going to save my life through DMs, because you posted something in our little our little Discord server. We got a little private place that we talk and whatnot, and you can get there right there. You're not going to get into the private place, but you can get there and talk to us and stuff. And you posted this, and I was like, okay, I don't know anything about that. I'm not going to ask him about that now, because I want to ask him on the show live.
I want to tell you a story.
So I don't even know the name, but you posted all this stuff, and I was reading through it this morning. I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah. All right.
So tell us.
Oh, well, let me set a couple of little bricks of context. Okay. You remember, I'm sure, from the Contest of Champions server that we were on, that I kind of had this policy where I would not DM anybody. I won't DM anybody.
Yeah. I still, every time I go to DM you, I'm like, JJ don't like DMs, but he's cool with me doing it.
Yeah. And now I always told everybody, like, you can tag me in any channel and I will show up and answer and talk to you. I am not taking DMs. And I'll tell you why I'm not taking DMs. I'm not taking DMs because I don't know who's on the other side of that DM. And I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm having a private conversation with a woman or a minor at all. I just don't want to do it.
That's very good. Very good.
And this is I don't know where I learned this lesson, but there may be only like one law in my life, and this is it. You are not putting me in a room with a woman by myself or with a minor by myself. It's not happening.
Kendra and I just had this conversation the other day. We were seeing this little kid, and we were talking about how cute the little kid was and whatnot. And I told Kendra, my 18-year-old daughter, I said, I have to be careful as a person, as a man, a middle-aged man that is very much a kid and loves kids and hangs out and is silly and does crap like that. I have to watch out, because I see a kid in the store and I'm like, hi, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't need to wave at them. I'm just trying to be out. I'm just a kid. I'm like, hi, what's up? Hey, how are you? So I just, all right. Right. So you're doing a good job first and foremost with the DM.
So, and gentlemen, I cannot encourage you strongly enough. Accept no DMs. Don't DM anybody. Don't take them from anybody. You just really don't know what's going on the other end of that thing. And you don't know. Look, everything can be totally honest and innocuous and innocent until it's not. And then you're effed.
So what happened? So let me tell you.
All right, so that's one side of it. Now let me tell you something else. You guys know I like comics. There's a couple of YouTube channels out there that talk about comics on the daily, and it's always something that I've wanted to be like, I got to figure out how to work this into the show where I can like go through my comics collection, or maybe do another show or talk about my books. So, like it's a thing that I'm like trying. For instance, Deke, way back in the 90s, you read Wizard magazine. I know you did. We all did. Wizard magazine, read about comics.
Oh, absolutely. I had Wizard from the very beginning. I think I had the first one with the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man Wizard. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, wouldn't it be cool to like crack open that magazine and kind of go through history, go 30 years ago and be like, man, we had no internet back then. We had Wizard magazine, and Gareb Shamus, I hope he told us something that was true, and there was like art and pictures, amazing. And it would be really cool to crack that thing open and go through history and kind of like reminisce a little bit. Well, there's a channel that does stuff like that, and that channel is Comics Kayfabe. So I'm going to show you guys. And look, you guys probably already know about Comics Kayfabe.
Probably
maybe
not.
You do. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. So Comics Kayfabe is run by Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg. And Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg are independent artists. And Ed Piskor, they've both worked at Marvel at a time in the past. Ed Piskor in particular has achieved notoriety for a book called the Hip Hop Family Tree. He illustrated a graphic novel that was the history of the roots of hip hop. We're talking Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, all of that stuff way back, and that book got like a lot of attention, and it's kind of a big deal. Okay, so this channel, cartoonist Kayfabe, Ed Piskor, Jim Rugg. Well, about 4 years ago, Ed Piskor's doing what you do if you're on YouTube, right? You engage with your audience. Somebody leaves a comment, you talk to them. Somebody leaves a like, you give it a thumbs up, and you talk to them, and you engage with them, and on there. And if you're better at this than you are, and you're better at this than I am, you would have like an Instagram and a Twitter, and you promote your show, and then you'd interact with the people that interact with your promotions, right? Post art, post photos, interact with your respondents. And he interacted with a respondent, and it turned out it was an aspiring artist, and this aspiring artist was a female. But that's all you know, because it's Instagram, and it's like, hey, I like your stuff. Oh, that's cool. Check out my stuff. Oh, that's cool. Da 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 da. Innocent, innocuous conversation. And then there's DMs back and forth, and there's this and there's that. Now maybe Ed Piskor, 40-year-old man, probably shouldn't have been talking with this woman, but it starts off like no ill intent, as far as I can see. And then the conversations go to DMs, and hey, maybe he figured out it's a woman, and maybe he figured out, hey, maybe she's attractive, or maybe who knows. And
so what happened?
You got to go with me.
Dragging this on, and I'm like, what is going on?
All right. So last week, a week ago, this woman, Molly D, who's 21 now, aspiring comic book writer, artist, some shit, I don't know. She leaked some screenshots of DMs that certainly don't look good. Now, it's possible for you to say something innocuous or even fun, and it be editorialized to make it look worse. And she did that. She posted the screenshot, and then she posted a big old blather. Ed Piskor's a creep. He's sexual predator, was grooming me, whatever. Maybe that happened. Maybe that didn't. You know whose word we have to take for it? Only Molly D. And her limited screenshots of her conversations and her editorializing.
Why don't we have Eds?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Why don't we?
So she leaks this stuff to the media, and now there's media articles.
Okay.
There's an article written about it. Ed Piskor accused of grooming 17-year-old girl. Oh, right. And now you have comic book pros sharing that story, circulating it in the industry.
Just like normal.
Yeah.
Ed kill himself?
Ed killed himself.
Okay. Red flag fucking central for Mr. Rudd right here.
Okay.
Red flag central.
Yeah.
If he was innocent, he would still be here talking about crap. I have personal experience of someone in my family with this.
I understand what you're saying. And I believe that is a reasonable thing to assume or conclude. Ed Piskor wrote a 5-page suicide note, and that 5-page suicide note named names, and it called people out. And he knew. See, Ed Piskor was not part of the comics right. He was part of the comics left. And maybe you don't know about this kind of stuff, but within the comic book industry, Yeah,
really don't.
within the comic book industry. Well, no, you do know about it. You do know about it a little bit. Within the comic book industry, the major media players have been taken over by wackadoodles.
Oh, yeah. The major comic book, the major ones have always just pushed a leftist agenda always.
Yeah, and these wackadoodles have these little like whisper networks where they text each other, DM each other. Hey, did you hear about this guy? Hey, did you know about this guy? Hey, did you know about this guy? And they push normal people out of the business, and then they bring in more wackadoodles. And Ed Piskor was part of that group. Ed Piskor was cheerleading the firing and the getting rid of conservative squares. He was a guy that kind of was like a rebellious type guy.
Okay.
And he cheered on this cancellation of like basically normal people. Normal people that were just like, hey man, I just want to draw comics and have a wife and kids and normal life or whatever. And that's too square. That's not cool. So Ed Piskor cheered that shit on, and then that shit got turned on him. And they started circulating the stories and circulating the innuendo and the propaganda and the accusation. And Ed Piskor, in his mind, and I know this because I've read his suicide note, he believed he had nothing. His reputation was now tarnished and destroyed. His career over. No place to go. Nowhere to talk to. There was nothing to do. He had no hope. So he said, look, before I go, I want my story told, and I want Molly D held accountable because she lied. She misrepresented what happened there. This is what actually was said. This is what actually was said. This is what actually was said. But I know there's no hope for me. So I want my stuff to go to my parents. Hey, book publisher, make sure they get a good payday and some other stuff. And then oh, you don't believe it. If I brought the letter up, man, it's pretty.
I can write you a really good sob story letter too if you give me enough time. The major thing here is if he is so innocent and his reputation is so tarnished, you can get your reputation and you can still live out your life. Dude. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. If you are rational minded, you could figure out like I can come back from this. And look, there's a difference between an innocent person and a person that hasn't been done what they're accused of. Because Ed Piskor was not an innocent person. He made mistakes. He knows he made mistakes. He knows he said and did things he probably shouldn't have because they definitely got misinterpreted. Well, here's red flag number 2 that's firing off in Mr. Rudd's brain over here is the fact that maybe what he said in that letter that she misrepresented him and now his reputation is tarnished. All right. Maybe he knew something that we didn't know that we may learn in the future. Like
maybe so.
There were other things that he was like, oh crap, if this is first starting, then they're going to dig and learn into this and I will be put into prison forever or I'll be whatever. Right. So, there's so many red flags going off in my mind.
Sure.
I don't feel sorry for you.
No, I'm not saying he's innocent, but listen, let's say he's a creepy dude. Let's say he's a creepy dude in some weird corner of comics. And when he had the opportunity that some girls were interested in his stuff and that he took advantage of that and tried to turn that into a sexual relationship or, okay, that is disgusting, but let's say that's true. But is that criminal? No, I don't think that's criminal. That's just what men do. Men try to convince women to sleep with them.
That's what
but it's not criminal.
Does. That's what every male species on the planet.
Yeah. So like, even if, now the underage thing, she was 17 when he started talking to her and he didn't know how old she was until he found out. And, and look, I don't have access to his DMs, and you know who else doesn't? Nobody else has access to his DMs. The only person who knows what really happened is Molly D, and she definitely editorialized what she put up on.
But there's just 2 or 3 red flags still waving for me. That
I get it. I get it.
Down yet, and that major big red flag up there is why did you kill yourself, dude? Because I've been down along that road too. But let me tell you, man, and this is something I thought about as well. I have been on the public radio waves
for 29 years. I have been doing morning shows for about 25 of those 29 years. I have always been, one of my managers told me one time, they were like, when you are not on the air and you are in Walmart with your family, you are working because people recognize you.
For sure.
So you can't act like a butthole all the damn time because
Hey, you're right.
And you can't let the phone ring because you're talking on this stupid little show.
Listen, if I am not defending Ed Piskor. Aside from this, accusations were leveled against Ed Piskor, and there's a reasonable alternative explanation that hasn't been explored. What was done was an accusatory campaign. Ed Piskor should have never been talking to this girl, 100%, especially if she was a child. That's not acceptable.
That's what I was getting at with me. I've always got to watch what I say, how I say things in public, DMs, stuff like that, because first off, I'm not 20 years old anymore. I'm not in my 20s. I don't have a head full of hair. I'm not a cute little guy.
Yeah.
I'm an old man, and I've absorbed that creepiness to other people because society has went that way. I wouldn't trust my girls go 200 yards behind the house into the creek, and every 30 minutes I'm like, girls, y'all okay? You know, back in the day, mom wouldn't know where we were forever. So society has changed over the years to the point that we're all a little bit more vigilant on stuff like that. So, if I'm looking and smiling at your kid and waving at your kid, if somebody's doing that to my little girl, I'm going to be like, what's up, dude? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I get that. Look, I can't say this enough. I'm not defending Ed Piskor. I'm saying because what's going to happen, and you know what's going to happen here is like everybody's just going to accept the accusation story because now he's dead, and it's like, well, nobody wants to investigate, and I certainly don't want to get out there.
You're probably right on that. I mean, I will give you that.
So, but like, what if he's not? How far out of line is it to imagine that a woman would just lie for advantage or maybe misrepresent things in order to get advantage? Because, Molly D, she just got signed to DC Comics.
You're right there, but you're overlooking the big, huge, glaring thing here is that he killed himself because of the accusations, and he blamed it on, did that 5-page note take responsibility for anything that he done in his life?
For some stuff, for sure. Okay. Yeah, he said like, like he there was not I'm innocent entirely. It was like, no, let me add some context. I want my side of the story out there, and I want this woman held accountable. I shouldn't have said this, and I shouldn't have said that because it looks wrong. It looks, for instance, and there's just a couple of things here I want to say. Let me say this, Steve. He was 42 years old, and this happened when he was 48, I guess, or no, he was 41 years old. So this happened when he was 38. Now think back just for a moment, because I know you're not, and I'm not either. Try to remember when you were 38 years old. Did you feel like you were 38 years old?
No, you still thought you were in your 20s.
Yeah, hey man, I'm still 30 something, right? It's not, right.
It's when you cross over that 40 threshold, is that you start to be like, oh shit, I'm a middle-aged person now. I'm not young. My body hurts me every single day on spots that shouldn't hurt.
Right.
So yes, you cross that at about 40.
He's a single dude. I don't know. Maybe he could never get into a relationship, or maybe it just didn't work out.
He's a comic book artist. Of course, he's a single dude. He couldn't get into a relationship that's had 2 girlfriends his whole life.
Admittedly, was a shut-in. Like he was inside all the time, always working on this book, and some of the stuff is pretty cool.
Look, I'm just going to be flat out just blunt right here, and this is my personal opinion from stuff that I have seen in my life and seen in the internet. If you are 40 years old and you've only had 2 girlfriends your whole life, some of your fetishes are really freaking wackadoodle out there, man. They are just, whoa, you are crazy.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, that's possible, but it also is just no, hold on, because I was thinking about this too. Because I mean, like, I don't know this guy. I only have a little bit, but I can infer some things, a few things. For instance, what if you're a 40-something-year-old guy, 38-year-old guy, and you've never been successful in a relationship, but you are an artist that has some success here. Now you can either like whine and mope and like, I'm just trying to chase love, or you can like, man, it's just not working for me. I'm gonna lean into what I'm good at. That makes a lot of sense. Your identity shifts that way. The only thing I want to say about all of this is that like this dude shouldn't have killed himself. He shouldn't have died. And he shouldn't have been.
No.
He shouldn't have been
It's not
pressured.
an answer to anything.
He shouldn't have been.
If you feel that way, please contact the suicide hotline or please call someone. Please get help if you feel that way. Okay. Because I personally have felt that way many times. I have some very weird stories that I could tell you, and I won't, but I completely understand. Andy Rudd, completely understand. I'm giving you my real name. I completely understand. All right. So,
I mean, like if you're at that point where you think your only choice is to kill yourself, like what is the harm in picking up the phone and calling the suicide hotline or whatever? Like, what are they going to do? Embarrass you? You're about to kill yourself. Some of the
greatest moments in my life are still freaking happening all the time, every day.
Yeah. And look, even if you're guilty of stuff, there is a path to redemption in this life, but not when you're dead. When you're dead, that's it. And you know who gets to tell your story? Not you.
So now that we've told this, let's get to, since we've taken, this is going to take up the whole show.
I know.
So now JJ was upset about it. And I've known JJ for many years and I know how he is. JJ is good about holding his tongue sometimes about this.
Yeah, but
you can do it.
That was not yesterday.
You're not good at it. I'm a lot better at holding my tongue than him. I'm not perfect at it either, but
I do try to stay within the guardrails. But yesterday, Twitter was like, "No, you can't say that here." So I'm currently suspended on Twitter. I might get.
You might get it back if you keep your damn mouth shut.
I've already appealed twice and sent in an email. I was like, no, you guys are wrong.
Can I give you a piece of advice from your old buddy Deke here? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your mouth shut and you'll get it back.
I kind of don't want
to. Can we talk to Elon? I mean, can we get Elon on the phone?
The funny thing is that yesterday I read the hilarious thing to me is that yesterday. Okay, so all of this Ed Piskor stuff. I was emotionally hooked in on this yesterday, and I was on this on Twitter, and I was like, man, I hope they find this dude, and I hope they. And of course they didn't. And it was hours and I was in there. So I posted on Twitter, because I want to say this, because I thought this was apropos. I thought this was appropriate. And I thought this was not out of line. Okay. This is what I posted on Twitter. Ed Piskor saga is another case of social justice warriors' core beliefs: guilty until proven innocent, and in the meantime, kill yourself. So does that read to you as though I am encouraging violence?
I see one mistake that I would have added, one grammatical mistake that I would have added.
Quotes.
I would have put quotes around the guilty yourself.
Yeah.
Because when I first read that this morning, I thought, whoa. And then I have read it again the second time and I'm like, oh, JJ is saying this is what the social justice warriors' core beliefs are. Guilty until proven innocent, but in the meantime, go kill yourself. That was what you were saying. And whoever moronic X user that can't comprehend words, because my intelligence is above average, and I had to read it 2 times because I was zooming through it real quick. That's what we do now is we zoom.
I crafted that message. I thought I crafted that message in such a way that it could not be mistaken by a person of average intelligence. I took
JJ.
I know.
Greatly underestimate people.
So innocent until proven guilty is the colloquialism, right? That is the ideal. That is the moral good.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, especially in today's society.
Yeah, and that's kind of based on the same premise as like it is better that one guilty man be released than 100 innocent men go to jail. It's the same idea. Better that we err on the side of innocence. And that's the colloquialism. So I took that and I inverted it, right? Which would be morally reprehensible. Guilty until proven innocent. That's morally reprehensible and wrong. And I married that to the other thing that is morally guilty, reprehensible, and wrong. And then an ex-moderator has low reading comprehension skills. I am certain that what happened was that some of the people I was criticizing, some of the people whose names were named in the suicide letter. There are 4 people that are named in the suicide letter. And I know that they are on Twitter, and I know they saw my comment because my comment got elevated up a little bit and got raised. One of them complained about it and mislabeled it as encouraging violence, which this is not. This is not.
Really? Who was it?
Oh, well, I don't know who it was, but I know that my comment stood out on the Ed Piskor hashtag trend. And
I
know
thought
that those people
somebody retweeted it.
I
Who
don't,
retweeted it?
No, I don't know who retweeted it. I know that Ed Piskor was trending yesterday, and a lot of the comments was like, "Oh man, I'm sad about that. I really wish you hadn't to do it. Don't do it, bro." But my comment was like a kill shot target.
So do you have more than one X account? First of all.
Oh
no,
I do. I do.
Okay, then log into the other one to see if that one's blocked.
Oh no, they haven't blocked me on the other one. It's
okay. Because that's what I do. When I've got some social justice warrior DND people that are freaking idiots and they just milk money out of people giving lies that I have gotten into conversations with before, and they don't like what I say. I'm not mean, but they don't like that. They just won't hear. They put their fingers in their ears and they block me. So I've got a secondary X account that I will go and see what they're saying and whatnot. I don't interact with them, but that's my little.
All right. Well, I'm actually segueing. Okay, I'm using this Twitter bit. I'm currently in trouble. Segueing to this other story that I had, but I can't find it now. Elon Musk is suing Australia on behalf of Twitter users for free speech. Yeah, it's so important that X preserve free speech for its users that Elon Musk is suing the entire country of Australia. But I got suspended for basically saying this is all wrong. Okay.
That's not the first time you or I have been suspended from anything social media, and it won't be the last, JG. So it doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Luckily, this show has such little reach that the moron moderators that have no reading comprehension won't understand.
I was going to say this earlier, but we kept talking, and let me talk to this because I got like 40 seconds before I've got to do this contest. As somebody that has been on the radio and the morning show for a long time, I have had feedback for a long time, emails, phone calls, everything. I have been called every name in the book. I have been called a Nazi. I have been told to kill myself so many freaking times. There's my alarm. I have had it all said to me from being on the radio, and it used to bother the shit out of me when I was on my big hot station and I had all these listeners. It used to bother me so much that I was like, what I used to say was, these people don't even know me. How can they hate me? They don't even know me. And then it hit me one day. These people don't even know me. Why do I give a crap what they think? So it don't bother me anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. I got to go. I got to talk.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about some news. David says that it was read by AI. Yeah, the message may have been flagged by AI. That's possible. But then I sent an appeal into a moderator, and the moderator did not overturn it. And now the thing about a Twitter appeal is you only get like a tweet's worth of explanation. So you get like 120 characters or 250 or whatever it is. It wasn't enough context to explain. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about some other news that happened yesterday and something that didn't involve me. It didn't. Obviously, the Ed Piskor thing didn't involve me, other than I was suspended for having an opinion about it. I just want people to not die. Don't kill yourself, folks. Okay. Check this out. Trump posted $175 million bond in his civil fraud case, avoiding asset seizures. Trump Tower shall not be taken by Letitia James today. He posted $175 million bond on his New York civil trial to stop the collection of $454 million in debt. This bond is held while he goes through appeals. So this case will go to appeals, and then if history is any predictor of anything, the appeals court will look at Judge Engoron's decision and be like, bro, you can't do this. We'll see what happens. More than 30 bonding companies refuse to accept cash and real estate for collateral for the bond needed in Trump case. And that's because nobody in the history of anywhere ever has been issued a collection fee of $454 million. It's too big. Trump claims the financial statements used to secure the loans undervalued his wealth and denies any wrongdoing. Okay. So that's Trump stuff for the morning. I'm sure we'll get some more great news today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. argues that Joe Biden is the bigger threat to democracy than Trump. Isn't that interesting? I think I had this on, let's see, Washington Examiner. Okay. RFK Jr. says that it's Biden you got to worry about. In his appearance on CNN, Kennedy pushed back against claims from Biden and Trump that the election of the other would result in the destruction of democracy. But despite not believing in either, he said Trump's claims had more weight to them, stating that Biden was the greater threat to the democracy between the two. I can make the argument that President Biden is much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is that Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used federal agencies to censor political speech and to censor his opponent.
Yeah, well, they've used that crap. I don't know. He's the first one that we've actually caught.
There's four cases, 4 indictments right now against President Trump, all of which are baloney, but they're all there, and Department of Justice will not admit they're coordinated. But when a person on Fani Willis's staff works for the DOJ or worked for the DOJ, when they take private meetings at the White House prior to filing indictments, the DOJ is behind the scenes trying to be like, yeah, you guys indict them and you guys indict them. We'll just stack all this stuff up, and then he can't run an effective campaign. Except it's Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's got like a Teflon suit and stuff falls off. So, I mean, like if this were you or me, we would not be making it. We'd have to take a plea deal or something. We can't deal with this. But Donald Trump somehow is just like, no, I'm innocent and this is wrong. I'm going to keep going. It's crazy.
Well, Donald Trump has one thing that me and you don't have, and that is a crap ton of money and influence. So,
That
I mean, if
makes
we
that
had
works.
a crap ton of money and influence, we could probably get out of crap.
Well, his SPAC deal for Truth Social went through a few days ago, and that deal, Truth Social, which I would have never thought it, but like because I've been on it a couple of times, but it's basically just Donald Trump, the social network.
Yeah,
It's the only thing to go over there for.
I've got it on my phone, and every once in a while
Yeah.
I'll open it up, and it's all Trump, 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 Trump,
Yeah.
Trump, Trump.
And that when the SPAC went public, that means that normal people on the stock market, on NASDAQ, I think it is, I'm not sure which one it is, can buy public shares of the company that owns Truth Social, and the trading
And his
symbol
media
for it
company,
is
DJT.
DJT. So you
And it's
can
worth like
literally
3.48. I don't remember how much billions they were saying how much it's worth.
billions.
That's worth a
billion.
bunch.
And he owns 58% of the company. So when you invest in the company, he gets the value of his shares goes up. So the value of his percentage of this is something like 6 billion and 9 billion, something like that. So yeah, okay, I'll write a check for 200 million, whatever. Yeah. So Donald Trump's winning right now. Okay. We're at 8:35. Deke, we got a couple of stories here. We got a cool science story, and you got this anger story. Maybe we should do
I got to
the
talk
anger
in.
story.
I got to talk in 15 seconds. So give
Okay.
me just a second. Give me about 30 seconds.
Let's see if there's anything else we had to go on here. Let's see. RFK Jr. What else did he say? Did he say anything else? So RFK said that he's weaponizing federal agencies, pushing in the other direction. Kennedy also gave some credence to warnings that Trump could be a danger to democracy. I think that it is a threat to democracy of Trump trying to overthrow the election clearly is a threat to democracy. But the question was, who is worse threat to democracy? And what I would say is, and I'm not going to answer that question, I would argue that President Biden is, because of the First Amendment, Aaron, is the most important. Okay, so that's what he had to say about that. I'm not voting for RFK, but you know what? A lot of independents might, or a lot of Democrats that cannot bear to vote Republican might vote for RFK Jr. instead of Biden. We'll see what happens. All right.
And that's good. That's good for Trump, because at least it's going to take away the vote for Biden that people are going to die hard. I'm not going to vote for Trump. I might as well vote for Biden, but I don't want to. The lesser of two evil type people.
Sure.
I always hated that. People were like, well, I voted for the lesser of two evils. And I'm like, well, you're a moron, because why are you voting for evil? You voted for the lesser of two evils?
Yeah, well,
okay,
what do
you
you
still
do?
picked evil, dumbass.
What do you do when there's no good choices? Just not participate?
I don't participate.
That's not good either.
I have not voted many times because I don't
okay.
like any of the assholes up there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I've had the platform to make it known that I'm, so.
Okay, let's talk about anger first. I think this is in line with today's kind of meta theme. Don't you agree?
So JJ, when you get mad, when you get mad, do you like to vent? I think we all know the answer to this question.
I don't think that I'm a venter, but I've really had to talk about this morning. Like, I couldn't not talk about it.
I understand that, but no, I'm talking about when you get very exasperated and you have to get out the anger, like the bottled up anger or whatnot.
For me, venting, it's not very long. It's usually like, oh, I can't believe that. And I just let it all out. Or like,
mine is usually a little longer. Mine was usually a little longer. And I'm the type of person that needs about 20 minutes by myself after I get mad. And not even that long. I need about 10 minutes or so. Leave me alone, not talk to me anymore. And that gets me completely fine. Have you heard of these things? Yeah, have you heard of these things called, and I was not a timeout kid. I was a get over here, I'm going to whoop your ass with the fly swatter, the flip-flop, the paddle, the
branch
stick.
from a tree.
What? Yeah, I had to go get a branch from the crabapple tree all the time for Granny's going to switch my ass. I had been knocked on the head.
Hairbrush broken on me before.
Yes.
Paint sticks.
Yes, I've had it all. Okay, so I'm not one of these timeout. So I've had my ass whooped. And I probably deserved a lot more than I got.
For sure. Absolutely.
So they have these things that came out several years ago, and I heard about them. I thought, that's not my thing. But they're called rage rooms. And you may remember, like back in the day at fairs and stuff, they would give you a chance to beat up this car with a sledgehammer. They have these things called rage rooms where you can pay and go in and smash stuff and get out your anger and whatnot. Okay. So get out your anger. Get out the anger. We're getting
physically channel it.
Yeah, we're wanting to get out the anger with anger. So we're combating the anger in ourselves with anger. And they've did studies on this for several years now, and they've realized that this does not work in our body and our brain. Venting. They have found, this is kind of a long article, but down here they have found that and you're going to laugh, but it's right. Stopping, breathing, meditating, slowing down. It's finding an activity that doesn't stimulate. I forgot what they said, because they said like some people will go jogging when they're angry. They'll go jogging or they'll do something. That's not good, because that still stimulates that arousal, the arousal in your body.
You're putting yourself into combat mode.
Yeah.
You're angry, so I'm going to put myself into combat mode until I burn all my adrenaline out. That's stupid.
Yeah, to reduce anger.
I can't believe it.
It's better to engage in activities that decrease arousal levels. Despite what popular wisdom may suggest, even going for a run is not an effective strategy because it increases arousal levels that end up being counterproductive. And then there's where it talks about the rage rooms, but it talks about that right here. Their study examined both arousal increasing and arousal reducing activities, from boxing, cycling, and jogging to deep breathing, meditating, and yoga. Calming activities reduced anger in the lab and in the field. They found that other variables like instruction. Yeah, I know, it's kind of like duh. But I
It's
mean,
so stupid.
we had to have
All
a
right,
freaking.
look, I mean, listen, like, okay, I don't believe in human evolution, but it's cool if you do. I don't think it matters if you do
You
or
don't?
don't. No, I don't believe in evolution. I believe in God, and I believe in I believe that we were created and designed. Okay, but
I'm
if
not
you want to
gonna
believe
get
in
into that
evolution,
conversation with you, but
yeah,
I do.
I know.
I
like,
don't.
whatever.
I don't believe all the crap that you think that when you say evolution, you think monkeys, man. That's not what I'm talking about. Evolution is scientifically proven in animals,
is
and
it?
plants, and nature and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, sure. I
Okay,
mean,
well,
if it's
whatever.
scientifically proven, then you can demonstrate it happening.
Okay.
Okay.
We have thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and I'll gladly
Okay.
grab one and show you here in a minute. But
All
that's
right.
not
Look,
my deal.
okay, if it doesn't matter. Like, because
Okay.
I'm saying, even if you believe in evolution, especially if you believe in evolution,
Okay.
then you would understand that we were a primitive creature that number one job was to not get dead. So
That's
your
just nature.
psychological, your psychological
that's
response
in the
system
natural
is to
DNA before the aliens
avoid danger if possible, combat it if you have to, and when you're at war with an animal or with nature or whatever, you're designed to release adrenaline, surge, and put yourself into fight mode. So why would you, when you're stimulated and angry, put yourself into combat mode? Because you're designed to do that until like you can escape or win or die. So of course it's not going to help that you're running and beating on stuff with a stick. That's not going to work. It's counter to your biology. All right. Do you not agree? If you disagree, that's fine.
Oh, I agree that
Right.
displaying anger to combat your anger is, it's kind of
Yeah,
silly.
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. You're just going down a rabbit trail that's making me want to be like, well, actually,
Nerd. Look, believe in evolution. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't. I don't think I'm a monkey.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
not a monkey either. I'm a human.
I
was
mean,
never
okay.
a monkey,
Do-
and humans were
do-
never monkeys.
Are there dominant and recessive gene traits that can be expressed or repressed? Yes. Can environment add to that? Yes. Can your genetic history and mating add to that and turn those things on and off? Yes.
You want me to tell you the problem with this?
Yeah. What?
Is that we have been told a specific definition of that word. And when
Right.
you say that word, along with thousands of other words in our language,
Sure.
when you say that
It's
particular
loaded.
word, you have been Pavlovian trained to think of a certain thing every single time that word is said. It's like
Right.
I was explaining the other day, and we were talking about it maybe the other day, and I've said this on the show before. The word consequences. Is that word positive or negative to you when I say consequences? What is the connotation of that word, positive or negative to you, JJW?
It's not. I mean,
Your immediate, when I say
my-
you've got some consequences, JJW,
well, okay,
what is
so
that?
that's-
How
so
do you?
that's in a. Yeah, so that's. I mean, that's presented in a negative fashion, but the
It's
word
just
itself, I
presented.
would
No, it's
just.
not presented in a negative. Maybe the inflection was negative.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
JJW, if you
word-
do this action, you will
Yeah.
have consequences.
Yeah.
We as humans have
Yeah.
been brainwashed, have been conditioned, Pavlovian response to when we hear that word consequences, we automatically want to, oh, that's bad. What's the consequence? That's not
I
what
did
that
not have a
word
bad
means.
association.
That's not what that word means. There are
Yeah.
positive consequences and
Sure.
negative consequences, but we as humans have
Mhm.
always been conditioned, or our society has been conditioned to think, oh, that's bad. Same with that word evolution.
Okay.
You say evolution, people think Darwin, monkeys. Man come
Yeah.
from monkey. That's the
Yeah.
first things you think of.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. That's what.
So that's what I'm saying. Break the brainwashing and open your mind a little bit to what the words mean and stuff. When I say, if you do this action, there will be a consequence, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a negative consequence. It may be the greatest thing in your life.
You'd have to. Okay, so I don't take consequence positive or negative. I take it straight up as neutral. But part of that is because like I'm a programmer, and like I know if this and that. I need conditional logic structures. Evolution is in our society definitely is strongly associated with a particular type, and they keep massaging the details of it a little because shit don't work.
And it's not just physical evolution, it is very well mental evolution that we have seen. And sometimes though, mental evolution is a degradation. It's like de-evolving. A mental de-evolution can also happen.
I mean, see, I would say I don't know the correct. I'm not a biologist. Definitely not an evolutionary biologist. I don't know the correct terminology for say. I do think that traits can be changed, but I don't know that is evolution. Because I think the genetic opportunity for those traits to exist generations down are still there. They just have to be turned on or turned off. But I don't know.
I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you at all.
I will say this. 6,000 years ago, I think humans were just as smart, maybe smarter than we are now.
I agree. I agree with that. Like you said there about turning on and turning off. That's always been fascinating to me. These we call them junk DNA. It's not junk DNA. It's shit that we don't know DNA. All right. That's what we should call it. Shit we don't know DNA. We don't know what it does. And the one thing that's always fascinated me is the monarch butterfly. Do you know about the monarch butterfly's journey and how they are researching recessive and genetic memory with the monarch butterfly? Because the monarch butterfly makes a journey every year. It starts in Mexico and it flies to Canada, and then it goes from Canada back to Mexico. The only problem is the monarch butterfly doesn't live that long. So it starts in Mexico. About halfway through, its children fly about all the way to Canada, and then its grandchildren are the ones that fly back halfway through America, and then its great-grandchildren are the ones that end up in Mexico again for the return trip. How do the grandchildren and great-grandchildren and children know where the crap they're going?
I don't know, and I have immediately two hypotheses. One, weather. Two, electromagnetic field of the sun of the earth that they are small and light and perhaps sensitive to the electromagnetic field of the earth, and they're following something.
That very well could play a very good point. There's something that we don't see because we've done that experiment with homing pigeons or what it was and found that they have a weird magnetic bull crap in their head that we can see with our instruments and stuff. It's weird. They read the magnetic frequency that we can't perceive.
Look, what if they have and I don't know, what if they have like a ferrous iron particle in their body, like as their divine, whatever, something like that. That's
very interesting.
Sensitive. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We got 6 days until the lunar, is it the solar eclipse or lunar eclipse?
Solar.
The solar eclipse, right? Total solar eclipse.
And if you want to, I will still be here at the station because everybody else is doing other crap. And so I'll still be here at the station, and I can do we can go on live and do a live thing.
Like in the afternoon, like right after lunch.
Yeah. If you want to.
Is it going to get dark? You think it's going to get dark where you're at?
Oh my God, yes. It's like 90 something, 98. 97. It's going to get pretty dark. We were like 99% totality in 2017. It was almost completely total. And this one's not a bad one. This one's like not as much, but it's supposed to be pretty good. So we'll go live. We'll go live. We'll discuss that. So I'll tell you what, for people that want to know more information on that, if you will follow JJW on Twitter, within the next week, and just follow. We'll keep you updated on his Twitter.
I mean, look, I can't promise that I won't be suspended again because I might come off of my band and be like, I shouldn't have been banned for saying exactly this. I might cause it to happen again.
Yeah. That's why I said, shut up.
All right. I know. Okay. Well, the reason why I bring up the solar eclipse is that we have some sun news. Man, this stuff is hot right here.
I was so bright as a child, my father called me son. You can expect those kinds of jokes and more in about 10 minutes here on Your Two Dads. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I should do this. Okay, I'll do this real quick, and then we'll do music. I'm not going to forget. Check this out, guys. An artificial sun has set a record for being 100 million degrees.
Nice.
In the latest advance for nuclear fusion.
If we keep doing this, then we could have power that they could sell forever. Everybody always says, "Oh, if we do this, we'll have free power. We will have free power." And I'm like, "Have y'all ever? Do y'all know who Thomas Edison is?
It ain't gonna be free for you, kids.
Free power? What the hell are you talking about?"
Korea's fusion reactor set a new record by sustaining plasma at 100 million degrees Celsius for 48 seconds.
That's
the researchers aim to sustain plasma. Like, what do we need anything at 100 million degrees for?
Interstellar space travel.
Sure.
Any other kind of freaking humongous space station. If
haven't we
any
talked
other
about
kind
this?
of power generator, if you can generate
100
million degrees for 48 seconds, but we can figure out how to harness that 100 million degrees for the 48 seconds, dude, how much energy is that? If we could figure out how to harness it. And if we don't have to generate turbines and burn coal and burn fossil fuels.
That's a good question. How much energy did it take to get to that point?
Well, see, there was another experiment that I read not too long ago, and it was saying something to the effect of that. And there's the car battery thing. The energy it takes to make a battery, those battery factories, they say.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't understand how much coal they use to make your electric car batteries.
The thing is, it's more efficient to invest that energy. I mean, I'm not arguing for it or against it, but my understanding is that it's more efficient to use that power to manufacture batteries and then use power to charge those batteries than it is to transport gas all over the country and then start up engines and generate a fraction of power, when we need it.
So, you don't have to have electricity to charge a battery, right? If you have the right chemicals, you can charge a battery.
You don't have to have electricity. Period. No. End of sentence. We just couldn't live this close to one another, and maybe we
why everybody lives so far away. JJ's about 2 miles away. I ain't going to talk to him today. I'll go tomorrow. All right, let's get to music.
Music, please.
Yeah, I don't have. I didn't. Oh, hang on. I gotta put it up here. Hey, remind people to like and subscribe.
Yes, you know what? That's exactly what you guys should do. If you haven't already, please, thanks for hanging out with us. Like and subscribe. And once we get through this music segment, you're going to get a hilarious joke that I haven't planned for yet.
That wasn't long enough.
The like and subscribe button is right down below. It's not the actual werewolf over there. It's there's a like. It's a thumbs up or a subscribe. And you know what? If you're like really not tartled, you could even share the show on Twitter because I can't.
You're hilarious, dude. Oh, it got me all choked up. All right. Yesterday, I told you, was the longest continuous trade day festival in America. It's in my hometown, Tater Day. It's in Benton, Kentucky. We had a good Tater Day yesterday. Me and Maggie went out and watched Kendra and Alex and Ashley march in the parade, and it was fun, and we had a good time. So this week is Tater Week for our songs, and you're going to like this one. How about Potato Head Blues by Louis Armstrong and his Hot 7? This was recorded in 1927. This is 97 years old. 97? No, 4, 5, 6, 7. 97 years old.
Does that mean it's in the public domain?
I don't know. But it is an awesome piece of music. I love it. Potato songs all week. I bet you didn't know there were at least five potato songs out there.
I had no idea.
Friday's song for all of you dads out there. You're gonna love Friday's song.
Given
Even
that,
for the moms out there, the moms might get mad at me for Friday's song, but the dads are gonna love it.
I mean, the majority of recording music history has been dominated by studios because the cost of recording records was so high.
Yep.
Right. Which means
And a
that
record
in
producer.
the past, at least 5 times, an artist sat down and thought, you know what would be great? A potato song. And then he had to sell that idea to a studio a record producer
Let me tell
in
you,
a studio.
this is do you believe in synchronicity? Synchronicity's been happening to me for about 2 or 3 months now. I started reading about synchronicity and I started noticing it everywhere. Me and my brother were having this exact same conversation yesterday in a different context. Okay. He was playing me a song that I can't remember what the song was now, but it was a popular song that we all knew. And he was like, listen to this guy sing it. And I'm like, well, that's different. That's pretty cool. He's like, that's the songwriter. That's the guy that wrote the song that sold it to the record company. And I was like, I like that version a lot freaking better than the one I've heard a billion times. I love this version. And so we started talking about, we saw this songwriter not too long ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and he writes for Montgomery Gentry, Florida Georgia Line. He writes for all these big country artists, and he's had like 6 or 7 #1 songs that he has written, and he plays them, on his keyboard and sings them, and they're different and they're freaking awesome. And so we had this whole conversation about the songwriter and the record company and the record producers going in and changing this and adding this and doing this and adding this so that you get this produced at the end,
Refined,
and it's not
different version.
It's not what the songwriter wrote. And I gave him this analogy. I said, imagine a painter paints a painting. Imagine you do a comic book and you give it, and some dude erases 15 pages and redraws it and then paints it all this and gives it a new cover and then calls it something completely different, gives it a completely different name, and then sells it that way and says that that's your work. That's the exact same thing that's been happening to music for years.
That's because
we have bought it up.
Because music stops being art and it starts being a product, in the same way that comics stop being art and start being a product.
Rick Rubin, who is a legendary music producer, can't play an instrument. He was not a musician at all. He might be able to play an instrument now, but Rick Rubin, look him up. He's a very intelligent man, very highly intelligent man. And he's a record producer. And he said, I don't make music for other people. I don't care about other people. I make music for myself. Yes. I make it for me. And what I like is what I like. And other people happen to like the music that I help create. And I'm like, that's it. Don't do other stuff for other people. Do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And be the best. I always try to teach Alex and my kids this at the very beginning, years ago. If you are going to be the toilet cleaner, be the best damn toilet cleaner that the history's ever. When somebody walks in there and they're like, God, who cleaned this toilet? When you're going to sweep the floor, make it to where when somebody walks in there, they're like, damn, who swept this floor? Whatever you're doing, be the best at it.
You really should. Absolutely. If you can, because what's the alternative? You're going to be mediocre. You're going to be.
Dad always told me and Logan, he always said, if you half-ass something, you're going to have to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. If you fart around and don't do it right the first time, you're going to have to end up going back and doing it again the second time.
It's especially young people. It's hard because, when you're younger, when you're adolescent, teenager, maybe in your 20s, whatever, you're worried about school. Maybe you're worried about going to college. Maybe you're worried about your career prospects
of you.
If we're really honest, you're worried about your mating strategy to make sure that you can find a woman that will.
That's true.
That is the dominant worry in the majority. And it's if you are worried about all of these things, it can be really hard to be like to take a step back, take a deep breath, and be like, what am I good at, and what do I enjoy doing, rather than what can I get by doing, what can I survive on. I don't know. It's worth thinking about. But absolutely, if you guys are going to do anything, do it as good as you can, or don't do it at all.
You don't do it at all. Yeah.
Like this joke, for instance. What is a baby's favorite reptile, Deacon?
I don't know. I've never heard this one.
Rattlesnake. See, that probably shouldn't have been done.
That's a prime example of half-assing something.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're going to do it right, you need to do it right the first time. What do you call a policewoman who does the chalk outlines? What do you call the policewoman that does the chalk outlines?
I don't know.
Or the police person that does the chalk outlines.
Otherkin, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I don't know.
Do you know what they're called?
No.
Tracy.
At least you got a response. I didn't even get a response from mine.
It's Tracy.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Share the show. Follow us on Twitter. We love you very much. Don't kill yourself. Talk to somebody.
Seriously, seriously. We're not joking right now. If you do feel that way, please call to somebody.
Right.
DM me.
Right here. Come see us over here. Outro.
Talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth.
That's a
Tune
man.
in now to that show. JJ and Deacon, they're the ones that know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Conspire with us, tomorrow's news today.
I'm a big fan of your two dads, and I'm going to personally look into this.